outside WC Baker Son. Now, anyone that I spoke to, when I said I was in Fleet, they said, you've got to go and speak to the ironmongers. They are an institution. So I'm speaking to Jeff at the moment. How and why do you have that reputation, Jeff?
Very strong service element. Very long established, 1908. Well known. You've seen families come and go, grow up, and they still come in to see us, and they come back to see us. And people who've moved out of the area maintain a contact quite often. So it's, but yes, we are part of the fixtures and fittings, and sadly, the only family business now left in Fleet. Retail-wise.
That is sad, and you are literally part of the high street because you are the only shop, is that right, on the high street that is allowed to peddle your wares out on the pavement?
Yes, when grandfather bought this property in the 1930s, he had the foresight to buy the frontage right. So where we're standing now is our property. So occasionally people try and move us off.
Somebody with a clipboard, you mean?
Somebody with a clipboard, and we have to point out, I'm very sorry, it belongs to us. So it's very jealously guarded.
Let's have a look inside, because when we said initially that we were going to an ironmonger's, I thought, oh, we're going to a little key cutting shop. That is not the case here, is it?
It's not the case, no. No, we are very, shall we say, traditional. I wouldn't say old-fashioned, traditional.
And very well stocked. I think in terms of what you've got, it's just such a... Could you give us a little idea of what we can find when we come into the shop?
Well, as somebody once said, you can get everything from a pin to an elephant. Because at one time, some years ago, we used to have a toy section, many years ago, and we had a collection of wooden elephants. And of course we do all sorts of pins in the shape of things like panel pins and that sort of thing. So that, hence the pin to an elephant. Some people say, oh, you're like a TARDIS, because we go down the back and we ferret out and find what they want. We're very much personal service, one-to-one. So you have to come in and ask for what you want.
And I thoroughly recommend you do
Nice
it. It's
to see
a
you, sir.
very
Thank you.
well-staffed shop, I've got to say, and we did venture out the back, and they are prepared for Armageddon, I can tell you that much, James.
Well, I'll tell you what, Jeff, so we've finished on air, but
Right.
let's continue.
So tomorrow
on,
we're going to be in Leatherhead on the high street.
let's continue on Facebook.
Right.
Do you want to show us around a little bit more?
Yes, yes, very much so. Let's, if I bring you round the
Yeah.
round the back, round the counter, and we'll ask Paul to breathe in deeply. Thank you, Paul.
Thank you.
Conducted tour. We have a surfeit of staff at the moment because we're training in a couple of youngsters for Saturday. This is Rob here.
Hi,
who's
Rob.
a very long serving member of staff. That's my pokey little office.
And it's also well organised. Look at all these up here. Allen key sets down here. And what have we got? Chalk and chalk reels. And toilet roll holders. You've got a whole box of toilet roll holders.
Oh.
It's fantastic.
Yes, this is part of our tool section, but
Yeah.
because we are pushed for space, other items tend to get pushed in, and it's always remembering where things are, which...
The key is organisation, isn't
the
it?
key is organisation, but nonetheless we do... It's quite exciting when we do get the stock takers in, which is an annual event every year. And they say, "Oh, you've moved that." And we say, "Well, yes, we had to. We needed to make room."
So Stephen says, do you have any quality buckets?
Oh yes,
Yeah?
yes.
Where are they? Show us your buckets.
Well, they're right out the back.
They're right out the back. Well, that's quite good, isn't it? So
We'll continue the conducted tour while we
Thank you.
find the buckets.
So passing various brackets. We've got some tea services here. We've got what look like some Christmas decorations. We've got some gloves down here. Shower mats, rubber mats, curtain rings here. Gosh, enamel plates. A whole stack of things there. Various flan cases and so on. And gosh, night lights, key ring torches, just anything that you could possibly want is all here. Not only Brasso but Silvo as well.
This is all surplus stock.
So this is all the extra stuff. Various ant killers, stuff to make your tomatoes grow better. Gosh. And what are these things? What are these?
That's called threaded rod or studding. So that if you want to make a long bolt for fixing or something like that, that's a metre length. And then we cut up and we do shorter lengths of 300 mil.
Buy what you need.
So trying to sort of supply just what the customer needs.
Yeah.
We've still got a little bit of the old Whitworth thread, not much left now. It's mainly metric. And we do all sorts of nuts and bolts and screws.
And I'm guessing, Jeff, there are some things here that you wouldn't find in those big kind of hyper stores because that they don't reckon that anyone wants them anymore.
Yes, it's a more limited demand, and it's a little more. It's become a little more specialist because it's not so much in general demand. And the bigger boys, they can't really handle. They're not geared to handle the small individual items.
Yeah, just a handful of this or something. Yeah.
Yes, I mean, you know, studding. It's surprising, really, with studding and how all the sort of uses that you can use it for that wouldn't be immediately apparent. And we even go down to 3 metre lengths of 3 mil studding. We're very fine.
So I'm guessing sometimes people come to you and say, I want something that will do this. I've got a problem. And you'll go, right, okay, what you need is this.
Yes.
And they didn't even know that's what they needed.
You've got it absolutely in one. And, you know, I always say to the staff, if a customer is asking for something and in the course of the conversation, you realise that actually you have something that is better, perhaps offer it to them. If it is less expensive, that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
As long as you've got a customer who goes out satisfied, they will invariably say, they come back.
They solved the problem.
You have solved the problem. Well, you've helped them solve the problem.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love that you've even got stuff up here hanging from the literally hanging from the rafters. Quite literally. Fantastic.
Typical ironmonger, you know, makes use of all the space.
Yes. So and what's happening down here? So you're measuring out some lengths of plastic.
Yeah, basically just packing up some bin bags, you know. Small job, we're getting there.
Right, it's got to be done. It's got to be done. So you buy them in bulk and then split them all up, yeah?
Yeah. I can do bundles of 5.
Now, Tessa says we have a shop like this in Woodhatch in Reigate. It's a treasure trove. It certainly is a treasure trove. And you know what? There's even more out the back. So we're going to pass. So these are the rotary dryers.
Yes,
various makes stock here that you can get, and cans and siphons and. Okay, so out the back. And you had a delivery this morning, yes, or are you still waiting for that?
We've had one small delivery, and I think I heard the bell go.
So in here we've got some fencing and chicken wire and things like that. So that's being stored in there. And so this has been going since 1908, but although not on this site.
That's correct. Grandfather opened a business in Fleet in 1908 when Fleet was beginning to develop. But he had the foresight to see that business, which originated in what we call Reading Road, but the business would move up here into the main high street in Fleet. And he bought this property. Fortunately, he had the foresight to buy the property. Otherwise, or buy the land and then he built. Otherwise, I don't think we'd be here today because modern commercial high street rents are such that an ironmongery business doesn't generate the sort of profits to support.
So Jeff, for people who need to move out because we've got a delivery of some hand wash and some bleach and other things coming in there. So that's just going
just a little top.
That'll just go into the shop. That'll go on the shelves. So what was this site before? So before you moved in, you're saying your grandfather bought this particular plot. So what was here before that older residents of Fleet may go, I remember that, or I saw some pictures?
Well, originally, we're adjacent to what we call the Gurkha Square car park, was a big house. It was called Chernock House, and basically we're standing on where the tennis courts. The
Right.
courts.
I'm hoping you sell tennis balls then, in that case, just for historical
Well,
reasons.
I've never found any buried. But, and then grandfather had the opportunity to buy this piece of the land, and the rest is history.
So what have we got? What's in here? We're out by the by grey storage.
This is my effort. I've managed to persuade. This used to be the garden part.
Can I just take a quick
Yes.
tour in?
Yes.
So right, so what we've got in here, we've got some aluminium ladders, we've got some runners, so some front doormat runners.
I'm afraid it's a bit of a mix because it's a question of where we can get things in.
Right.
But generally speaking, we try to sort of keep light with light.
Great huge lengths of this really heavy duty Hessian matting.
It's actually a PVC back coir, and the advantage of this is that it can be cut with a sharp knife, and we cut it to size for customers.
Yeah.
So
if you want one that just fits into it, sometimes in flats you have a little recess, don't you?
a little well
Yeah.
that you want to sort of put it in, or you need a piece of matting which ideally you need cutting round into a certain shape or space. And the beauty of this is you can cut it without it all sort of falling apart, because it's now become so very expensive. The traditional coir mat, which we sell a lot of, you can still get them made, but it is made to measure, that is, but it is an extremely expensive process now.
So I bet people come in here and they say, oh, I didn't know I wanted a carpet protector. You know, you've probably got a home office and you've probably got a chair that is always up against the PC and the desk. And you think, oh, I could do with something like that. We've got some barbecue tools, I think they are over here on the right. We've got some kitchen drainer sets here on the left. We've got, medical examination gloves. Well, you never know, do you? But, you know, if you patio brush here, but actually those gloves, you know, if you do have some of that, you know, gloopy stuff that sometimes perhaps you need to put on your skin, maybe you've got eczema or something like that, and then it goes all over your hands, that's really handy to have those gloves. Some little outdoor garden furnaces and proper dustbins, you know, the big metal dustbins, and I'm guessing also these, because they got the holes in, these are to burn things in as well. We've got a glue gun over here. This is fantastic. A microfiber flat mop. This is like the Generation game, isn't it, at the end, where you had to name all the things. And the key store, so if you need keys cutting, this is a place to come. And this is your domain, is it, Jeff? This is where you do your key cutting.
This is my speciality, yes. This is all the key cutting, lock repairs, and all that sort of thing. And we've got, as you can see, quite a number of machines there for doing different keys. And there's an awful lot of stock of key blanks, because some people tend to think that there is only one key section. Everybody has a Yale key, which is become a generic term for Linus Yale's famous lock. But there are many different key sections, and yes, we have over many years we have built up a vast selection.
Good collection. Well, Stephen's reminded us we still haven't found the buckets. So where are they? Are they out on another section, or are they in here?
They are.
We got hoses. We've got some buckets here. These are these.
No, they're only plastic. We are, as you can see, we are very low stock at the moment, and we're waiting for a big delivery of galvanised ware,
right,
direct from the manufacturers.
So Stephen, there could be some buckets on that shelf there or we've got these here, which these look like kind of heavy duty plastic buckets. Is that what you're after, Stephen? They're kind of pretty big. What size are these? How many litres are these here?
These are 15 litre.
15 litres for you, Stephen, there. With a good, and also, look, it's got one of those kind of plastic handles around the wire, so it's not going to hurt your hand. They're deep, you can fit lots in, and also it's got a couple of pouring spouts there, so that will make it easier for you to pour anything.
Builder's bucket
for mixing stuff in. Okay, well let's...
as you can see, we still do the traditional galvanised dustbins and different sizes, and these mini incinerators, which I managed to persuade a manufacturer for some years. was speaking to the manufacturer and I said, produce a mini incinerator, please. Oh no, there's no demand. And then they started to produce them, and they admit now they sell like hotcakes because people can burn documents, and they can also medical dressings.
Oh,
you see.
So if you are doing something at home and you just need to, instead of putting that in the bin,
outside,
incinerate, up it goes.
With its lid, and
it doesn't get in the way. It's not too unsightly, is it? When it's just a small amount as well you're putting in there.
I mean, obviously you could put a very small amount of garden rubbish in there, but it's more documents and.
You see, that's what it's all about, isn't it? It's solving people's problems, or as you said earlier, you are helping them solve a problem that they've got when they come in.
That's the ideal. Yes.
Can we get out this way? If I walk gingerly, I'm now going to walk obviously backwards here, and we'll take so various bulbs. Do you still have people coming in wanting the original old bulbs?
We do indeed.
And do you have any left?
We have some. But sadly now we've exhausted suppliers' stocks on things like 60-watt bayonet cap and 100-watt bayonet cap. GLS.
So it's just what you've got on the shelves, and that's it.
So it's and we've literally sold out of those now, and literally can't get any replacements for them. However, we have the halogen, and of course LED, which has come on in leaps and bounds.
Yes, they are much better now, aren't they?
The price has come down, and the quality, if one is careful, the quality in fact has gone up. Apart from the very cheap end, and when you consider that, yes, the bulb is going to cost you more initially, but it's only going to use 4 or 5 watts of electricity to give you 100,
perhaps save in the long.
And of course, with LED now, you can have warm white and cool white.
So different kinds of light, or over here, candles. So if you don't want electric, you've got candles.
These are candle bulbs.
Oh, candle bulbs.
Candle-shaped bulbs.
Ah, right, okay. I'm with you. I'm sure you do have candles as well.
Oh, we do, yes.
You do have, I thought so.
Yes.
Doorbells here.
Doorbells.
We've got, what else have we got? More bulbs. We've got some more plastic buckets here, Stephen. I don't know how big you want your plastic buckets, but we've got, these are what? Skips. Okay, right, okay. I only know the big yellow ones you have out the front of your house when you're doing your building, but this will help you transfer the rubble from a kitchen or whatever.
Yeah, and people use them, it's not only the building, there are a lot of people using putting toys in.
Yeah.
Encourage the children, you see.
Put away.
You don't want to be sexist, but the girls saying, oh, pink, lovely, and the boys have a blue one, or whatever.
Yeah.
We've got the colour range, so they have a free choice of colour in the different sizes.
And we just mentioned the candles, but also you've got these letters down here, and this is virtually that scene from that Two Ronnies sketch, isn't it? With the Mon Repose and all the rest of it.
Yes.
And how many times do people come in and ask you for 4 candles?
It's fairly frequent. It tends to be when there's been a repeat on the television.
And they think they're the first people to say it.
Well, as a good friend said to me once, he said, don't knock it, because he said it shows they're thinking of you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And also this stuff down here. Now, I didn't know that you could get this. So this is the stuff for kind of
under carpet,
rugs, but also this is the non-slip kind of stuff, isn't it?
Yes,
So
a rug on top of a floor.
Yeah.
It's a metre wide on the roll, and we cut it. Size for people, cut it off.
That's handy stuff.
And
various
polythene.
lengths of polythene.
That opens up. It's all folded. Opens up to 2 metres in width.
Gosh.
So for a temporary covering.
Yeah.
2 gauges, 500 and 1000 gauge, thick and thin.
Ironing boards, and
Some ironing
also
board,
earlier on we had I saw some ironing board covers as well. And you know what? We could go on and on and on, because there's another shed here which we haven't looked in yet, and there's all this round the back too. So, boy, oh boy. Jeff, thank you so much indeed for showing us round.
Thank you for coming visiting us.
Not at all.
I'm very pleased to hear the lady who has an ironmonger's shop, because there aren't too many of us left, but fortunately there are a few of us. And
so well done Fleet, and well done Woodhatch.
So if you have a local ironmonger's, please try and support them.
Do use them, absolutely.
do use
Jeff,
them.
thank you very much indeed.
It's a great
Nice
pleasure.
to see you.
Thank you.
Best wishes for the rest of your business. Started in 1908.
Yes.
But
I'm retirement age now, past retirement age, but still managed to keep going.
and your third
Thanks to
generation.
Frimley Park Hospital.
Your third
Prepare
generation,
me.
and there's a fourth generation coming along behind you,
Yes,
and possibly a fifth.
indeed, possibly.
We'll keep our fingers crossed.
Right.
Thanks very much indeed. So
Very
that's
nice to
Jeff
see you.
Baker from WC Baker and Sons, the ironmongers in Fleet, as we say, established in 1908.